What's maybe the message that you wanted to convey to the business leaders of Terre Haute today?
Indiana is fighting back against this recession more successfully than other states. It's no consolation to us when so many people are hurting and out of work. But if we continue to be careful about our tax dollars, make some of the hard calls that we'd rather not make, we'll be one of the few states that does not raise taxes and therefore is more attractive when jobs do start coming back to the American economy.
Well, you had a lot of superlatives that you talked about in your PowerPoint, some things that the state and you and business leaders can be pretty proud of.
We're one of the few states where businesses are investing. Overwhelmingly last year, businesses that were forced to contract kept their Indiana operations and consolidated in from somewhere else where it's more expensive, or they're not friendly to business, or the roads are crumbling, or services are bad. And no state will be economically successful till the national economy starts to get on its feet. But we're just determined to fight through this more successfully than others and to come out of it first.
Clear for people why you would spend money on I-69 and 641, but yet cut education.
Well, it's two different sets of money in the first place. Transportation budget comes from the gas tax and from the incredible bonanza we reap from the toll road, and has nothing to do with the everyday budget. Secondly, building new roads. 69 is one, but we're building hundreds of roads that we never would have had before. It's very important to this state's economic future. Roads lead to jobs when you build them and after they are there.
Why extend unemployment benefits? Don't you believe it just kind of hinders people from looking for a new job or trying harder?
Well, this is the federal government's decision. They do keep extending it and extending it. And it is a good question, really, whether at some point it doesn't make it too comfortable for people to stop looking for work. But we are trying to implement the rules faithfully that say to collect the UI, you do have to be trying, learning or something new, or applying for jobs, and I guess that's the fair way to keep a balance.
Where do foster cuts stand?
They've been stayed by the court. Indiana has almost the highest foster care payments in America. We're third in America. If we make the rather modest reductions that Judge Payne suggested, we'd be fifth highest in America, far higher than Illinois or any state near us. So wasn't happy that the shortage of funds made this seem necessary, but maybe folks here don't know it, but almost no place in America pays foster parents nearly as well as Indiana.
Well, for those businesses that maybe are having a hard time, or like James said, talking about unemployment, what's maybe some things that you've said to other business leaders that maybe are having a hard time? Do you have a message to them? Well,
the message is, if you possibly can, do what the state is doing. View this lousy economy as an opportunity to stretch your lead over your competition and perhaps take market share from your competition if you have competitors who are not as good at what you do. In the meantime, we're going to do all we can to keep your cost of doing business as low as it can be, give you the best chance possible to not only stay in business, but to make a little money and one day grow.
And what about Toyota? You've been in the news a lot about that.
Yeah.
You said to kind of give those businesses not such a hard time. Can you talk a little bit more about that and kind of your stance on that?
Well, a few governors of both parties simply wrote a letter and said, let's play fair here. The government went in the car business. They took, with tax dollars, they bought GM and Chrysler. And so they are, when they are beating up on Toyota now, they're beating up on a competitor. And we're just saying, look, they need to fix what they broke. Go ahead and fine them. They should be penalized, we're sure. But you seem to be going overboard here, and it looks fishy when, as though you're trying to hurt a competitor to the government-owned motor companies. Sooner the U.S. government gets out of the car business, the better off we'll all be.
There's been no raises for state employees this year, but yet their health insurance went up.
Actually, no. Most state employees will be paying much less for health insurance. They have a choice. But the so-called consumer-driven plans that we put in place are are much less expensive. Someone changing from the old, more traditional health insurance plan to the consumer plan will save something like $2,000 this year. They can give themselves a raise. Now, it's their choice entirely, but if they do move to the individual accounts, consumer-driven plan, they will save a lot of money, have more pocket change.
You're showing a good stance as governor with your budget. Any plans for running for president?
That again.
Yes, that again.
No, honestly, you can watch, I see you guys all the time. I'm not doing any of the things people do or are out doing when they're running for president. Look, I'm as concerned as any citizen about the problems that are building up for our country, and I hope to have some contribution of ideas, maybe support somebody else who wants to take us in a different direction. But I've got a job, as I think the presentation showed. We're deep into it. We've got our hands full trying to do a good job for Indiana, and that's enough to keep me busy.